Sarcasm has struck again. And as you can see by the title, Veah divorced in 2022, and it wasn't Rory. Very, very interesting. So let's get into exactly what it says down here at the bottom. So it says here that Veah likes to keep secrets. She brought her ex-boyfriend Rory to South America. No, to South Africa. Yeah, Durban, South Africa, but okay. With her, and didn't tell her current boyfriend Sonny. Veah also forgot to mention 90 Day Fiancé viewers that she was married up until 2 years ago, and it wasn't Rory. Okay, Veah's real name is Veah. Okay, I mean Veah is such a better name, but so I don't know why she hasn't taken the name, but okay. According to court records, Veah was married to a man named Nate. Has 2022. And I also continue by saying Nate filed for divorce in November of 2021. The docket indicates the couple had no minor children at the time. The dockets do not reveal when the couple was married. The divorce appeared to go smoothly, and the decree of divorce was filed on February 3rd, 2022. Okay. Who is Veah's ex-husband? Nate is roughly 5 years older than Veah. I'm going to call her Veah from now on because, boy, that's such a better name. Now, with that being said, it continues here. It appears he has an aircraft mechanic for the United States of America, the United States Air Force. Court records indicate someone with the same name, same full name, and birthday as Nate was convicted of misdemeanor battery in 2019 and malicious injury to property in 2018. The dockets did not indicate the battery conviction was domestic in nature. It also says here that Veah, given divorce time. I say given information shared by Veah on Instagram, a divorce in 2022 was surprising. Veah stated in an Instagram story that she was pregnant with Rory's baby and suffered a miscarriage on the day of her brother's funeral. Veah's brother Cody was shot and killed by a Missouri police officer in December of 2019. He died on January 1st, 2020. So this is something that, makes things very interesting, because if she was in a relationship with Nate, how was she pregnant with Rory? Very, very interesting. Makes me wonder if Rory was even ever really her ex. But we continue. Now it says here that Veah mentioned that her brother Cody was shot and killed by law enforcement. Sarcasm has more information on the shooting and the result investigation, okay, which is something else we will check out itself in particular. But let's continue to where we are right now. A traumatic experience like that either makes you closer or breaks it, or it breaks you. Veah said on 90 Day Fiancé, Rory and I were coping so differently. Eventually we grew apart, and so we broke up. But even though our relationship didn't work, we always have a strong bond after going through that, which is why Sonny needs to run. If your woman already has a strong bond with another man, yeah, that's not a good thing for you, bro. Based on the timeline, Veah and Rory split up in 2020, as stated previously. Veah's husband filed for divorce in November of 2021. The 90 Day Fiancé franchise is famous for displaying cast members behind background information over the course of a season. So perhaps Veah's marriage and divorce will yet be another secret she drops on poor Sonny in the upcoming episode. I mean, listen, if she does, that would tell Sonny to run, because he would know that she can't even be trusted with infidelity. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's obviously never a good thing itself in particular. All right. Now, with that being said itself in particular, let's obviously go into this information here that I did not come across back in October 20th. Damn. So obviously, as you can see, Veah's brother shooting details, as we can see here. Now, it says here that Veah was still struggling with multiple tragedies while filming for the show, in addition to suffering a miscarriage a few years prior. She also lost her brother Cody in 2022 after he was shot by a police officer. Now, I do wonder if the police officer was therefore then arrested, or was it a case of where the police officer did it out of self-defense? I'm not too sure, but I guess we will hopefully find out here. So it says here that Veah said she was raised almost entirely in a foster care, including a number of years with a very religious family with her own church. The situation sounded a lot like a cult, but Veah didn't use that term. My brother Cody was closest to me out of all of my siblings, Veah said. We were only 1 year apart, so we kept So we kept together most of the time in foster care. We were best friends. We grew up together. Veah got very emotional as she continued. But a few years later, my brother was shot and killed by a law enforcement, she revealed. Obviously, it was very heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for my family. Veah shared additional information about her brother and his passing in a series of Instagram posts. Cody was so talented at drawing, she wrote for one post on her story. He was a loving father to 3 beautiful children, a loving husband, a brother, an uncle, and so much more. And as you can see here, my dad giving Cody a final hug. It's very sad things to obviously see. To be fair, I'm surprised she even posted a picture of it, to be honest with you. I kind of feel like that stuff should be kind of more private, really. But hey, then again, look at me doing this. Anyway, with that being said, Veah's brother, Cody, was shot by a police officer on December 30th, 2019 in Missouri. Cody was driving a car with his fiancé and mother in the vehicle when he was shot once in the head. Damn, that is cold. Cody was taken to a local hospital where he was placed on life support. He died on January 1st, 2020. An investigation on Cody's shooting was conducted by a Missouri special prosecutor, who determined the shooting was justified because the car Cody was driving was accelerating towards the officer at the time of the shooting. That's crazy. So this guy was driving a car and he started driving faster towards the police officer, given the fact that he's his fiance and his mother was in the car. Damn, that is not. Yeah, that's cray cray. Given that this information is obviously correct. Okay, damn it. The officer had a reasonable belief that he was in danger of serious physical injury or death from the actions of a deceased at the time he fired. Reads the report below is lengthily expert with the findings from the report. So here's the thing. If you got a car driving at you faster, why don't you just move out the way rather than shoot? That's what I want to know. Like, why shoot, you know? But listen, we didn't see it, so I can't say too much on it. But I would imagine somebody with, if you can, you'd move out of the way rather than shoot somebody, because that's kind of crazy for shooting being your potential first action of response. Now, it says here that Cody Shooting investigation report. I have now reviewed the investigation file consisting of reports from DDCC investigators, statements from Cody's girlfriend and his mother, who were passengers in the vehicle at the time of the shooting, statements from the officer involved and the other responding officers, the autopsy report, lab reports from the MSHP lab, and video from the surveillance system at the school where the incident occurred from the dash cam on the second responding officer. All the information contained there is internally consistent and leads to the conclusion that the shooting was justified under current Missouri law. The evidence indicates that the deceased was accelerating his automobile directly towards the officer at a distance of less than 6 feet. At the time the officer was discharged, the officer discharged his weapons, and that was based on the information and circumstances available to the officer at the time. The officer had a reasonable belief that he was in danger of a serious physical injury or death from the actions of the deceased at the time he fired. So here's the thing: if you got time to get your gun out and shoot somebody, you got time to move out of the way. I'm pretty sure you do, unless the gun was already out. But either way, though, if you got time to pull a trigger, you got time to jump out of the way too. I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking based on the information here, right? Let me know what you're thinking here. In Missouri, where an officer is in a position of using deadly force in self-defense, the standard requires a reasonable belief that the officer is in intimate danger of serious physical injury or death as a result of the actions of the suspect. See, for example, State v. Chambers. Some long ass letters and numbers which I can't bother to read. I'm not gonna lie to you. Under Tennessee v. Garner, the U.S. Supreme Court case that established the standard for an officer's use of deadly force in making an arrest. The standard is similar whether the officer believed that the fleeing suspect presented a substantial risk of serious physical injury or death to the public or the officer or other officers. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. If he was shot because maybe the officer felt that there was going to be collateral there was going to be more collateral with the fact that he was driving so fast, with the fact that he was accelerating towards him, then maybe I understand, because I guess if he's driving towards officer, and even if the officer moves out, if there's going to be collateral, other people can get hurt, then I guess maybe it makes more sense for that action to have been made. But again, it's hard to say when you haven't seen it. In the school surveillance video footage, the vehicle may be seen accelerating directly at the officer who was walking towards the vehicle. So he was walking. That means he was already in a position where he was moving. So that means he could have legit jumped out of the way. Like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. And who would have been in clearly visual, who would have been clearly visible to the driver prior to the vehicle being placed into drive and moving forward. Frame 141 of the video, okay, at 10:01. Right, let's have a look here. So it also continues here by saying, I really wasn't planning for the video for this to be this long. I'm gonna lie to you. Now, at the time the officer fired his weapon, that's it, open bracket, frame 145 of the school surveillance video at 10:01 a.m. The vehicle was no more, close bracket, the vehicle was no more than 6 foot from him and accelerating rapidly towards him. From the skid mark evidence at the scene, the suspect vehicle traveled to the point within 2 feet of the right side of the rear of the officer's patrol vehicle. As soon as the vehicle started towards him, the officer was retreating. But from his position, he reasonably believed he would not be able to get to the position of safety. I mean, if the footage shows that it's going to be hard for him to get out of the position of safety, then I understand. But from what I understand, originally started off as 6 foot, then eventually became 2 foot. So between that 4 foot range of the 6 foot to 4 foot, couldn't you move out of the way? Again, very hard if you can't see the evidence itself in particular, or the footage, let's say. Further, it should be noted that a total of only 3 seconds elapsed from the time the vehicle started forward until it struck the building after the driver was shot. I would also offer a very small caveat. The surveillance video is not truly a traditional video. It only records at 3 frames per second. Has opposed to the standard for the actual full motion video, which is in the 30 frames per second range. This results in jumps, but the sequencing is clear enough to be easily okay, cool. Well, let's get into the last one. After a thorough review of the available information, I believe it would be very difficult to find from the evidence that the officer did not have a reasonable apprehension of immediate serious physical injury or death from the acts of the suspect. As a result, it is my conclusion that the officer was justified in his use of deadly force, and that I believe that no charges are warranted. Well, damn. Why do I hate freaking reading, man? Ugh, hate reading. Anyway, with that being said, well, so obviously this is what went down with her brother, and also at the same time, this is also the information regarding her having a divorce. So the question is this: was she having an affair, or was their divorce, or was their marriage already over before she met Rory? But either way, though, whenever she met Rory, they wasted no time getting pregnant. So yeah, I mean, listen, the way I look at it is this: if I'm studying and I'm reading this, I am not trusting this woman at all. You know, she's clearly somebody who is more than happy to lie to you, to withhold information from you, and also on top of that, that also tells you and shows you that clearly when it comes to being loyal, that's also not one of her traits neither. I mean, listen, the fact that she made herself look younger in her pictures anyway, with all those filters and whatnot, and then you realize she looks a whole lot more older, that tells you a whole lot more about her. I mean, at the end of the day, there's nothing truthful from this woman in any kind of capacity. That's just the grand scheme of it. Well, with that being said, I do apologize for my horrendous reading, but it is what it is. Thank you so much to Sarcasm for the details that we have here today, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.